science. But that's a New York Community College, Broome Community College in New York. Here is one of my favorites. This is a little more produced and it's high definition. This is actually done by the physics department in Berkeley. It's the physics of baseball.
Baseball, America's favorite pastime. Most people think they know the basic rules of the game. The pitcher throws, the batter hits, 3 strikes, and you're out. But underneath it all, the rules that truly govern this game are the laws of physics.
When you go to a ball game, you're seeing all the interplay of force and velocity and projectile motion. It's a beautiful thing to see and watch.
Paul Robinson is a physics teacher at San Mateo High School and a rabid baseball fan. He uses the sport to teach his students about how the universe works.
Physics is a beautiful way to see the world that we live in. Being a student of physics just makes the game that much more interesting and fascinating.
A 95-mile-an-hour fastball will reach home plate in 4/10 of a second.
If you're a student of physics, it's likely you're familiar with this place, UC Berkeley. Home to 8 Nobel Prize winners, the physics department at Cal is second to none. But if it's the physics of baseball you're after, the best place for your field work is on the other side of campus. We brought in a couple of ringers to show us what's going on.
Hi, I'm Linda Shore.
And I'm David Barker.
I'm a physicist, and we both work at the Exploratorium in San Francisco.
So they actually put a lot more thought and production into this, obviously, but it just goes to show that people are thinking along this way about how to deliver multimedia and give lessons in various topics. And I just think it's the way to go. And if we're even the first, college in California or even in the district, I think that's a good thing. But I've talked to other instructors and they're looking for more workshops and these sort of things and more training. And again, if there's one-time funding grants, then more departments and units can actually purchase some of the same tools and start to collaborate. And again, eventually we'll have a wealth of material that can benefit students, regardless of what the department is. And some people have talked about SLOs, doing SLOs with this. So I'm not here really to suggest to people what they should do. It's just this is what you could do, and it's up to you to decide, whether or not you're sort of interested in doing this. But if we do have one-time funding grants again, it would be easier to do, or even in a committee situation like the tech committee, it might be something the school looks at comprehensively, so there's no one-time funding. It's a matter of, getting equipment, training, a location. There's been discussion, I think, we generated discussion at one point with John Rood, I remember, a multimedia room, creating a multimedia room. And I actually think that's what we need to do. But again, I don't know, that's only my opinion. But
even those, the ones we're watching, are just their regular lecture halls, it looks like.
Some, yeah. Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. I mean, there's some benefit to that. I mean, I don't want to talk about this, but for myself, it's like at least probably for every hour of lecture, there's about 20 hours of work, at least. That's assuming everything goes well. For a video lecture, you can get it done. No big deal. Just make sure you don't make mistakes. And I can see the wisdom of people who make that choice. Believe me, when I'm going crazy and it's 20 hours, 25 hours, and it's long, and you're like, geez, I got other things to do. I mean, I've been dropping the ball with a lot of other responsibilities because I get obsessed with this, and I'll be the first to admit it. But I'm glad I can again take it home and do things in the middle of the night. And, but I just think after a while, if we get the ball rolling, and again, there's some information, then it's all worth the pain, and But that's it. This is that's the presentation. So if there's any questions, yeah.
Can you talk about, or did you talk about podcasting?
Podcasting is very easy to do because of the fact that all it is converting the file to a proper format. And so if you do just one of these, you can, with compressor, convert it to a pod, video pod, 4.3 or 16.9, preferably 16.9, because these are, if you can notice, the iPods are now, everything's going to go 16.9. It's anamorphic. I think by year, what, 2009 or something, you can't even buy a TV that's 4.3 anymore. It'd be 16.9. So, you know, so it's very easy to convert these and convert them to PSP files to watch in PSP. I have a website where, I mean, I did some conversion today, and it's going to be up. The PSP files and the iPod files are there, but not the PSPs. It's all going to be there. And there's some other sort of things I'm going to do for my course, my math course anyway, statistics in the extra hour lab, which is I have selected problems that I use from another program from a textbook, and I'm going to now go back and do solutions for that. So even if somebody watches a lecture, they can get a follow-up, because that's vital. Follow-up is vital in any sort of learning environment. You want to give a lecture and then test them. Did you learn anything? And see what they learned, and after that, if they didn't learn anything or they made mistakes, go back again and readjust that through a sort of a process. And that's actually what I'm working on personally with this component, on how to sort of help students understand the mathematics. But you know, again, people are free to do whatever they like. This is, yeah. Question?
Just like iTunes University, philosophically,
Yes.
will whatever we do be posted that anybody can access it at any time? And I'm just thinking about student success, and what if somebody's intimidated by math and they want to see these lectures before they take the class? So philosophically, where do we stand there, or where does the math department stand?
Oh, you know, okay. Philosophically, I think, you know, it just says iTunes University. Education's a right, and I wouldn't ever block anyone from the knowledge. I mean, sometimes even from my own department, people kind of look at this and say, oh, that's, you know, but iTunes offers every lecture free. You know, we can offer every lecture free. I would never put a price tag on it, you know, and say you charge you $1. Although the school may look to say, this is one thing that can happen. The school may look to say, well, good, we want to collect apportionment, you know, on this. And there's reason to do that. But the way I feel is I don't mind saying to the school, here's the files, because, you know, we wrote that they could collect apportionment on it. That was part of the agreement. It's in order to fund it. But I also want it available everywhere else where it is free.
Now, if it's under, like, non-credit, or those labs, it would still be free to the students. But I guess I was just thinking, they would just then have to register, but then it would still be free.
I mean, the school can have a process for it. Like going through it, you know, talking with IT, I think the idea was that you go through a particular website that tracks time, and they access the video files, and then the school, you know, collects sort of apportionment for it, you know. And okay, but at the same time, I don't think we want to just make that our only delivery route at all, because there's no guarantee it'll even be up. And it becomes something else. And it actually goes against sort of the spirit of education. And like I said, you look at sort of iTunes University, all the other universities, they're not doing this. You know, this is, we, as Americans, we don't think that way when it comes to education. You know, it's just a different process. You know, the information's out there. It's free. You know, we'll charge you to be accredited at a college and university to get credit, college credit, but, you know, we're not sort of price tagging the lecture. But the school does probably will have designs to say, well, how do we harness this in a way that has some payoff? Then, you know, and I understand that aspect too. But like I said, I think as long as we do both, I'm fine with it. You know, let the students decide what they're going to do or how they're going to approach it. You know, whether they go through the school website or whether they go through an alternative source. And I think also it pressures IT